Good morning, and welcome to Daily Disciplines. Well, we've asked some pretty tough questions over the last couple of times we've been together, and I began to think about, I talked about the struggle that I go through and how I try to study things and come to some sort of conclusion in my life, and that perhaps an input to you might be helpful. In fact, we do get comments and questions from many of you from time to time about how do you study? What do you study? And so I thought I'd just take a few moments to chat about that today, because there are a number of different sources, obviously, where we get information. A lot of recorded material is obviously available. Written material is available. And both of those are powerful inputs to our hearts and lives and minds, but that leads us, both of those lead us to another powerful process that we mentioned our last time together, and that is the process of thinking. And so when I sit down to read a book or to listen to an audio, what I'm looking for are the ideas that challenge me. The good thing about audio is that I can be somewhat involved in some other things. That's one of the major differences I see between audio and reading. If I'm reading, I'm reading. And there's not much else I can do. If I'm listening, there are some things I can do to kind of multitask, and I like to be able to do that. I do realize that whenever I multitask, it does take focus away from that process of listening to get the best that I can get from that which has been recorded by somebody. And so I would prefer, if I'm just listening to get new ideas and to challenge myself, or to read to get new ideas to challenge myself, that is what I focus on. And I am aware that sometimes my level of focus and my length of focus is deeper and stronger and longer than at others. If I'm smart, I will pay attention to that. Because if I simply read words and suddenly shake and blink my eyes and realize that I've gone page after page after page and I don't have a clue what I've just read, then my focus is gone and I need to do something else. Or if I'm listening and I've drifted away to think about other things, I'm really wasting time. And so when you listen, when I read, I want to be focused on what I'm doing. And one of the ways I find that helps me to do that is to constantly have a notepad and something to write with, so that whenever an idea strikes me, write it down immediately. Years ago, I used to think, oh, that's a good idea. I'll remember that one. And I'd get 10 pages later and have another idea. Oh, that's a good thought. I'll remember that one. And by the time I get 100 pages and I've got 10 good ideas, I don't remember 8 or 9 of those good ideas. So constantly have that pen and something to write on, to write down the idea, the thought that you have as a result of what you've been listening to or reading, and do it immediately. Now, John Maxwell gives us an idea about reading, and that is that when there is something in a book that catches your attention, just underline it, flip to the back of the page of the book, which is almost always blank, put the page number and the subject matter so that whenever you pick up that book, you can immediately review the ideas that you had that were impactful to your life and how they helped to change you. Some books I have to read more than once. Some audios I listen to more than once. Some 5, 10. I don't know that I read books 10 or 15 or 20 times, although there are a few. But I'm constantly realizing that whenever I read or listen to that which I have read or listened to before, I bring a different person there. Because I'm different. I've changed. My thinking has changed. And so I read, I listen as a different person. And with the accumulation of that material, I now begin to think as a different person, seeking to form that person that I really want to be. How do you feel about reading, about listening, about thinking, and how it changes you? Let us know at our YouTube page. We'll talk again real soon.